All right, everybody, we are live. Welcome to our free live goal setting workshop. If you haven't yet, we'll start here in just a couple minutes. If you have not yet, make sure you get your free workbook that goes along with this. It is right there in the description there, so you should be able to see that. So make sure if you haven't yet, we encourage you to download that to kind of go along with everything. What's up, James, Laura? Hello, hello. Hopefully, you guys give me a thumbs up or give me a heart if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me well. I want to make sure everything's good on my end. I'm doing it a little bit different from how I normally have done it. So I want to make sure I'm not the most tech savvy. So just want to make sure that I'm good, that you guys can hear me. Put it a little bit different from how I normally have done it. Cool. All right. Some of us are hearing me good. Give me a heart if you're excited, guys. So hopefully you can hear me. Give me a nice heart. Like if you can hear me, give me a nice heart. If you're excited today to learn some good stuff here, we got a lot of stuff for you guys. I'm super excited about. As you can see right there, if you can grab a pen and paper. I want this to be a little bit interactive. I don't want it to just be sit here and listen to me ramble for 30 minutes, 60 minutes. I want you guys to get some value out of this. So if you can grab a pen and paper, give me a like, make sure that you can hear me here. We will start in just a moment here. Once you jump on, guys, say hello. Let us know you're in. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm watching from home, or I'm not watching, I guess. I'm presenting from home. I was going to go back up to the gym, but didn't get enough time to get back up there. So we'll go just a moment here. Make sure everything's good connection wise. People are able to get on. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Looks like we're good here. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here in a second. First off, thanks for joining me, guys. I'm super excited. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Oops, let me turn that off. This is a topic that isn't always a sexy thing to talk about for a lot of people, but it's so important. We always tend to just kind of overlook, you know, our actual goals, right? We get into the habit of like, oh yeah, I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to do this, but we don't really have like a good action item or plan, that we put in place. So I really want to do that. And um, I want to give you guys a lot of value going into this year. I know it's been a tough year back in, 2020 as unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure you're well aware of there. So give me a heart if you guys are ready for a fresh start. And I want to hear maybe, if you can comment below, let us know, what does that fresh start mean to you? What do you want to get out of 2021? Because there's no right or wrong answers, right? We're all We all have different situations. Some of us, you know, 2020 or COVID or what have you impacted more so than others. And that's just kind of the nature of it. So I want to get us a fresh start going here in 2021, and I want to, do what we can here as coaches to just help get that going for you with that fresh start. So again, give me a like, give me a heart if you are ready for that fresh start. And if you haven't yet, in the description here, there is a free copy of this workbook that I'm going to be going along with. So if you can, go ahead and download that. It's free. At the very least, grab a pen and paper, because there's going to be some engagement part of this. I don't want to just ramble the whole time. I want you guys to take some action on this and not just say, oh, I'm going to do some of this stuff and I'll do it next week, or I'll do it Monday, right? We always push things off, but I want to kind of challenge you guys to kind of take action on it right now. So before we start, give me an idea, guys, where you stand. So who has a goal so far in 2020 or for 2021? Who's you know who's has a plan of action? Who's already doing that? If you do, give me a heart, or post it below. Let us know what you're doing. Welcome area. Did you the link I put above, Laura? I'll have to look here in a second. Should. If you already did it and downloaded it, might not. As a member, I put it on our Facebook page too. You can try in there. But yeah, give me a like if you don't have a goal. So if you don't have a goal, you're not really quite sure where you want to go to yet in 2021. Give me a like. Let us know. This will be a perfect opportunity for you here. Awesome, Tracy. I'm starting mine on Monday. Actually, I got it right next to me. I just got it in the shipment here, so I'm excited about that. But give me a heart if you have a goal and you're willing to share. Please share, and give me a like if you don't have a goal. You're not quite sure the route you want to take yet. And if you can, post here in the comments, what are some issues maybe that you've had with goals before? So all of us probably here have had a goal before, but let me hear, like, what are some of the issues that you've maybe ran into issues with, or you had a great goal that looked great on paper, but it didn't necessarily execute well, or what have you. What are some of those issues that you've had there? Good in everything last year. I found myself complaining all the time, Doreen. Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that one, right? I found myself to be a negative Nancy, and I'm sorry if there's a Nancy on the call here today. I don't mean to do that, but keep trying, Dodd. Everything looks okay on my end. Looks like my Wi-Fi is going here, so just make sure you have a good Wi-Fi connection there. And I'll be going for a little bit, so try to jump in and on. There, you'll be able to go back and watch it too if you miss some things. But we all run into issues, and I just sent out to Laura 3 times a week workout. Great. Started in 2020, got sick. I know, I'm well aware. Hopefully, or it sounds like you've been feeling better. So that's good. That's a start. That's one of my goals, is to get a certain amount of workouts in, per week with stuff. But let me hear, like, so you guys are sharing here a little bit, like, find the good in everything, being more positive, working on your fitness. Laura, you mentioned, like, what are some other areas that you are looking to, kind of improve in 2021, right? Like, what are Don, I know how you feel. My last house, I didn't have very good Wi-Fi anywhere. But what are some of the areas that you want to improve in your life, right? So a lot of times we have health goals, or career goals, but let me hear, what are some other avenues or things that you want to improve upon this year? And there's no right or wrong answer. And this is a community, guys. Don't feel scared to share. I'm going to share mine actually here. Some of the ones that are important to me this year. I have 8 things that I came up with, and I'm gonna kind of post them here. Hopefully you can see them. um, and it really comes down to, that's great, Don. That's a really good one. Being intentional and making time for yourself. So for me, and this isn't going to be about me, you guys, but I figured I would share to make you guys feel more comfortable about this, is spirituality. I want to get better with relationships, especially my immediate family. My mental well-being. I know a couple of you guys mentioned that. That's a big one that I really struggled with this last year. My fitness, my passions for fun and career, my overall environment or the people around me and the environment I live in, leadership, fun, and learning. Those are some of my big takeaways of the things that I want to accomplish. And what that's actually what we're going to do today a little bit. So I'm gonna challenge you guys here to think of some of the things that you want to improve upon this year, and we're going to create what's called like a life balance wheel. That'll be the first step here. So what a life balance is, what I want you to think about, you can see kind of on the screen here, a life balance wheel or a wheel in general, right? Think of yourself riding in the park. Um, that's great, Laura. Awesome. Great minds think alike, right? So, you're riding a bike, right? You're riding in the park, or you're riding down the Macomb Orchard Trail here, enjoying yourself. Well, when all the spokes and the wheel itself are in good condition, they're properly aligned, they're balanced, you're gonna have a smooth ride, right? But imagine trying to ride that bike with an unbalanced wheel or an unbalanced life, right? It's probably not going to go all that smooth. So what I want to do today is kind of get out of our comfort zone in a normal way of thinking about goals, and start to have a plan going forward of um, not just maybe the normal typical things of what we tend to think of when it comes to goals. So thinking a little bit maybe outside of the box on some of the things that you generally um, you know um, aren't quite sure about, or maybe some things that you lack in, or some things that you just want to improve upon, and all that there. And you might, what you'll probably notice is some aspects of your life are more balanced than others. So you might do really well with your health and fitness. You make it a priority. You figure out ways to schedule it in your busy week, whatever it may be. Maybe your home life is spotless, like everything's organized, you do really well there. But maybe your finances you struggle with. Maybe you're not sure how to budget well, so you just kind of don't do it. Or maybe you've never had major health problems, so you haven't really like focused on your fitness, for instance, or your health, or whatever it is. Or you'll always, all of us will find that some of our wheels or our spokes are stronger, if you will, or more balanced than others. So um these are some different things here. Some of these you've seen on mine, some of them are different. But what we're going to do today is, I want us to take about 60 seconds or so here, and you can post it in the comments. You can write it down on paper, whatever works for you. I want you to take the next minute, and I want you to create 6 to 10 different categories within your life that have a high emotional attachment for you, or that whether you feel are strengths now, maybe they're weaknesses now, it doesn't matter, but just things that you are very important for you to have a balanced life, or what you think is important for you. So I'm gonna pause here for about 60 seconds, and I want you to take some time and do this practice. So take the next 60 seconds if you can, and write down 6 to 10 things. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to get the ball started on having some type of focus going forward with these. Again, there's no right or wrong. I know 60 seconds is not a lot of time, but I think for this to get you started, I think if we can at least prepare and get an idea here of what we want to do in our life this year, at least we're going to get started on getting that fresh start. So we'll go another 30 seconds or so. Remember, 6 to 10 things that you want to, that are important in your life here. So coming up with 6 to 10, different categories, if you will, within your life. And they don't have to be anything on this screen here. These are just kind of some examples. And start to get that that list going here. All right, so as we're finishing that, and again, guys, you can take some more time after this, right? Like this isn't like supposed to be a rushed situation. So get what you can during this event, but I encourage you to schedule some time in your week in the coming weeks and maybe dive deeper into this. So now that you got your list going, if you want to share your list, feel free. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to support you and help you with it. We have our different spokes here of the wheel, right? They're all one in the same in terms of giving you a balanced life. So they're all part of Danny's life, or they're all part of Laura's life, or Dawn's, or Doreen, or anybody else that's on here. It's not just our lives, as aren't just one thing, right? It shouldn't be just career, just relationships, or what have you. So we have our list. So while we're doing this is the next step that we're going to do is we're going to score this list. So out of your 6 to 10 things that you've created, what I want you to do now is we'll take another minute or so, and I want you to score on a scale from 1 to 10 of where you feel that category of your life ranks right now. So how this works is a 10 is high. You feel really good. You feel confident that everything is going well with that spoke, if you will, of your life. 5 is like, yeah, I'm doing okay with it, but I could have some improvements. And 1 is just really, really low. So anywhere from 1 to 10 on those 6 to 10 components of your life, career, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's finances, maybe it's spirituality, maybe it's leadership. There's no right or wrong, but create the 6 to 10 different categories in your life that are important to you, and then rank all of those now on a scale from 1 to 10. We'll take 60 seconds or so here. And if you're jumping on later, guys, there is a copy of the workbook that I'm going through right now that you can download. It's in the description here to follow along, or do it on your own time. Like I said, it's free. So we'll take another 30 seconds, guys. We're ranking from 1 to 10 where we stand, or where we feel we stand on those components of our life here. And again, you're going to find some do better than others, and that's okay. And as you're filling this out, you'll start to see some, like I just mentioned, are much higher than the others. So now we're going to start to kind of figure out what do I need to do to get this wheel, if you will, a little bit more balanced, and start to ask ourselves, how can I improve some of these lower scores? So as we're getting into it, what are some, give me a heart if you do have any of your lists that are like an 8 to 10 that are like doing really, really well. So maybe your fitness, or maybe your nutrition, or maybe your career or finances. Like if you have some 8 to 10s, give me a nice little heart here. I want to see those that are have at least some 8 to 10s. And let's see if you, maybe if you had something below a 5, give me a couple likes if you have below a 5. I know it sounds weird giving a like for being below a 5, but just so we can kind of see it on there. Who has some maybe low spokes, and it's okay if you do. We all do, I'm sure, to some capacity. So give a little like if you have some low ones. You have like that 1 to 5 range. If you got some that are 8 to 10 range, give us a heart. Let's see it. You should be proud of that, and that's okay. So as you're finishing that, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to start to create our action items. So before we dive into that, there's a certain way that we want to, you know, set certain goals. So, being here in the fitness industry, we get so many people that come in our doors, that the first thing they say is, "Oh, I want to lose 10 pounds," or "I want to lose 20 pounds." But as I'm sure whether it's weight loss or whatever it is, that generally doesn't get you very far having a goal like that. So as we're creating our action items here, what we want you to do is, instead of saying I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to, some vague or like very generic, not generic, but like not very descriptive goal, what we want you to do is we want you to get what we call a well-written goal. So you can see that bottom section there. A well-written goal always has a timeline or deadline to it. The outcome that you want to achieve, it is very specific and it's realistic. It's not, for instance, if one of your spokes are finances and you make $100,000 a year, like saying next year I'm going to make 2 million a year, like that's probably not realistic, right? So it's okay to make an increase in whatever it is that you're trying to improve, but make sure it's realistic, right? um but we also want you to add your reasoning or your why or your emotional attachment to why that's important for you. Why do you want to improve spiritually? Why do you want to improve in your fitness? Why do you want to improve in your career? Like what is that going to do for you in your life? And the more emotion you can add to it, the more you're going to be bought in, the more you're going to be emotionally tied to setting this goal. And this is one of the most underrated components of goal setting, is having that emotional connection. Because again, if we go back to the original thing, like I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, that probably doesn't get you out of bed at 4:30 in the morning if you got to hit a 5 a.m. workout, right? Like that's not very motivating. So you got to add like, and if you want to lose 10 pounds, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to add that emotion or that reasoning or that why behind it. Like, why is it that I want to lose 10 pounds? What is that going to do for me emotionally in my life? And the more you can dig deeper there, the more you're going to be invested in that goal or that action plan. And then finally, we want to create our specific actions on what we are specifically going to do. And I gave you an example there, kind of in the middle. I know the writing small, guys. I apologize. If you turn your phone sideways, you might be able to read it better. On February 17th, I am 2% lighter in my body fat levels than I was on January 20th, because I feel more confident, because I performed 28 days of meal prepping every Sunday after church, getting more sleep. I was in bed by 10 and I was exercising 4 times a week at Raw, of course, right? So you can see how specific it is. It has a deadline of February 17th. It has an outcome, 2% lighter in my body fat. It has a reasoning. I want to feel more confident. Like confidence is an issue for me, for instance. So, working on that or focusing on that, getting it as specific as possible and adding emotion to it is the number one takeaway here for this. So I highly recommend you to do that. So we've been diving into the first section. So we created our 6 to 10 components of our life that are important to us: family, relationships, career, health. These aren't what you have to do. These are just examples. Finances, spirituality, whatever it is. You found 6 to 10 things. Then you scored them on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high, on where those are at in your life. Now we're going to create our action item for each of those. So on your paper or the workbook, if you have it, write down your 6 to 10 categories that you created. And then using what we just went over with how to set a well-written goal, here, I'll keep this up. We want you to, I'm going to give you 90 seconds or so here to start writing down some action plans. So you can go ahead and get started. I'm going to kind of walk you through it too. So for example, it has to have a timeline or a deadline. Each action item has to have a specific outcome that is achievable and is very specific. You have to add a reasoning or a why or emotion attached to it. And then what specifically that thing is. I'm going to share. So I had 8 things on my list. I'm going to share my first phase, at least, of my goal setting process or my action items for all my things. So feel free to kind of look through that or see, kind of how I did it. I probably didn't add as much emotion to it as I should have, but there is some emotional attachment behind it. So feel free to look at some of mine for examples. I just posted those. Um, and we'll take another 60 seconds or so to kind of create each action item for our specific components of our life. And while you're doing that, give us a nice heart if this is beneficial for you. If you're starting to see some things that are maybe a little eye opening, or things that maybe you haven't really considered when it comes to having goals, give us a nice little heart there if that's where you're seeing this right now. Again, we'll take a little bit of time here. Again, this isn't the full spectrum, right? Like your goal after this for your goals should, essentially be to dive a little bit deeper into this and, take an hour or so outside of this presentation and say, okay, I have my list. I'm scaling them out on where they rank on, good to bad, or where I want it to be. We have some of our action items, but then it starts to dive deeper into it. And we encourage you to take, maybe a little bit more time when it comes to that. So give you about another 20 seconds here, guys, to write out some of your action items. And again, if you want to share, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear what some of yours are. I'm being vulnerable and sharing some of mine. In hopes that gives you some clarity and ideas, for that. So if you want to share some of your action items, or what some of your goals are, by all means, go ahead and share. We're a family here. We just want to help each other and support each other. There's no right or wrong here. So as you guys are finishing that, I'm going to start diving into the next couple steps here with your goals. So we have our components, our 6 to 10 components. We ranked them on where we thought they ranked in terms of, doing really well with or not so much. Now we're creating our action items that are very specific with outcomes and deadlines. Well, now it's diving a little bit more into your plan of action, bringing these scores up, or what are you going to do to have more fulfillment in life, more happiness, and start taking action on it. Finding more ways to be social, searching online for a new personal growth book or course or class, volunteering more, like start taking action, right? Because everything looks good on paper, but it's kind of like the analogy of like knowledge is power. The knowledge that we're creating tonight with this is, sure, it's powerful, but it's only potential power. You need to take action in order for your dreams to come true, if you will, or for your life to improve, to find happiness, whatever it may be that you're trying to do. So you need to start taking action, and then have a plan to reset and revise it, right? Do this every month or every quarter or once a year or whatever it is, because obviously our circumstances change. So schedule those out ahead of time. Like go out and, say every first of the month, or for within Raw, like I call it a clarity break every quarter. So like the first of every quarter, January 1st, March 1st, July 1st, and October 1st, I sit down for a good 4 hours and like just really hash out like this version, but for Raw Fitness, and see like what needs to be changed, what needs to be updated, how have my circumstances changed. So it's really important to reset, revise this on a consistent basis, and schedule it ahead of time. Put it in your calendar, just like putting in your calendar next week to dive deeper into this. Tracy, I took a meditation course, and that's my biggest goal this year, is to make part of my morning routine. Tracy, that's fantastic. That's a very underutilized thing, I think, in our life here, is doing some type of mental practice there. And that's a good point too, Tracy. Like you kind of put like, that's your main thing. This is a lot of stuff, guys. And I know I told you to put 6 to 10 things. It doesn't mean you have to try to knock all those out at one thing or one effort. So I know, and you saw mine, I have a lot of things as well. Or if you're a member at Raw, you might have saw my post earlier of all my stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to be all at once. We actually encourage to take a slower approach and like dive into like that one thing. So if you scroll back up and look at my list, my top 4 are my main ones. So spirituality, relationships with my family, my mental well-being, and my fitness. Those are going to be the main ones where I'm going to prioritize those over the other ones. So if some of the other ones don't happen or I fall off a little bit, I'm okay as long as I'm doing the main ones that I want to do. So I encourage you to prioritize and revisit this often. And then the last part of this is you want to add a cue. So give me a nice heart here and feel free to share it. If you know what your cue is for maybe a bad habit. So, for instance, every night, 8, 9 o'clock, I tend to start unwinding. I always turn the TV on, and when I do, I always crave chips or whatever, right? Like some type of treat or whatever it may be. The cue is turning the TV on at night, right? Like, so give me a heart if you have a cue that you're aware of, because the first step in making a change is being aware, right? So if you have a cue or something that you're like, yeah, I really do this every time, this happens, and it might be a good one too. So I was doing a goal setting with a member the other day, and we set a cue in place of so her goal was every time I make dinner, I always go to do my workout. So we put a goal in place that like every day of the week, because it's what they wanted, to like, okay, I made dinner for my family. I'm now gonna go do my workout. And even if you have so much to do and you're busy, just the habit of like, I'm gonna go do 10 push-ups. It doesn't have to be elaborate every time, but it's the consistent habit of activating that cue of every time I make dinner for my kids. God is my priority. Very good, Don, this year to truly know and understand who He is, and to not just read the Bible, but to really learn from it. Yeah, that's great, Don, and that's obviously when it comes to that is building the relationship with God is or what have you, to whatever that means to you, um, is really the end goal, right? It's not to just read a read a book, like you said, to actually be invested in emotionally. So we need to figure out what cues are we going to add to some of these goals. So if your goal is a fitness thing, it's every time my alarm goes off, I'm I'm always getting out of bed and going right to my closet to get my gym clothes on, right? Like there's no right or wrong, but find what some of those triggers are. Then step 8 should be everybody's favorite, right? Find what the reward system is. So we encourage to do something physical. So like toothpaste is a really good example, or shampoo. Like toothpaste, the tingliness that you feel, they're very good at researching and marketing, really, is the tingly feeling actually doesn't do anything to get your teeth clean, or the same thing with shampoo. The bubbliness of it doesn't do anything actually to clean your hair, but people associate that physical sensation with cleanliness. So that's their physical reward. So they're more apt to wash their hair or brush their teeth because of that reward, right? So if you can really dive in and take some time to figure out some type of reward system for your goals, that will help you not only reach the goals better or more apt to reach those goals, but it also do it so it's more sustainable and you maintain it longer. Because our brains are hardwired to crave those rewards from a habit. We thrive on habits, so it's a survival mechanism. So if you can find out what your cue is, if you want to if you want to change a habit or create a new cue for a new habit, and then figure out what that routine is, that should be your action item that you created already, and then create your reward system for that. And just making sure it's attainable, right? Step 9 is pretty simple. It's if you and this is what we do in our goal setting process at Raw. If you are doing if you create this elaborate plan on paper, but then you look through it and you're like, on a scale from 1 to 10, like I think I can follow through with this, maybe it's like a 3, right? That's probably not a good plan. So we always encourage people that anytime you make some type of habit plan or goal, your confidence level should be like an 8 or above, that you can sustain that and you can follow through with it. Not even so much that you can hit the outcome, but just that you can follow through with the action items that you put into place. So that's it, guys. That's our life balance wheel, kind of putting it all together. You know, if you want to ride down the Macomb Orchard Trail on a bike, you gotta have a balance wheel, right? It's the same thing with our life. If we want to live a happy and healthy life, we need to have some type of balance within our life. So we can't be all career or we can't be all fun. You know, we have to have some type of balance. So we encourage you today to, create those 6 to 10 components of your life, rate where you feel those are on a scale from 1 to 10, one being low, 10 being high, that it's good. Create your action item with timelines, deadlines, outcomes that are specific and attainable, um, specific action items, and adding emotion to that goal. And then just ensuring that you're revisiting, looking at it periodically, making changes as you need to, and adding that cue and the reward to it. If you do that this year, guys, I assure you, you are going to be much better equipped to handle obstacles, to hit your goals, to find what's important for you in your life, and really just get that fresh start in 2021. And we want to do anything that we can to help you guys. Some of you guys are members here. Our as you know, our goal is to help you in a personable way outside of just setting goals, right? Like, we want to make sure we're creating a plan, making sure you have a personalized plan, getting accountability, getting coaching, getting support. And that's why we're starting. We wanted to start the new year fresh with this goal setting, to make sure that you have the best way to hit your goals this year. And the goal setting is the first approach. The next approach is taking action. So we do have, if feeling better, improving your confidence, losing inches, getting stronger, getting in shape this year, is something that you need or want. We are starting our 6-week New Year. We call it our New Year Makeover program, mentally and physically. So getting that fresh start in 2021, that's going to be starting February 1st. So if you are interested in it, feel free to message, comment, let us know. We'll be happy to give you any information on it. It does start in February, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff involved with it. It's 6 weeks long. I know I have a misspelling. The one part says 4. We change it. It is going to be a 6-week program. So we're happy to provide that for you. Here's a bunch of the stuff that you're getting with this: personalized plan to achieve your goals, accountability, coaching, support, a proven method, free trial of our heart rate belt that you'll get access to if you don't already have it, 6 weeks unlimited training, nutrition coaching, meal plans, goal setting. When you add all that stuff up, normally it's $399. If you're not a member, it's going to be $167 for this program right now. And we're actually going to do a little raffle. So anyone that shares our pinned post on our challenge, that's at the top of our Facebook page, that shares it and tags us in it, we are going to do a raffle for somebody to get a free entry, even if you're a member, to our challenge. So that gives you a little added incentive there to do that. But as we wrap up today, guys, I hope you received a lot of value from it. If you have, give us a big heart, give us a big like, in post below, give us a comment. What was the most eye-opening thing for you doing this? Or what was the number one takeaway for you when kind of looking at your goals in a little bit different perspective here? I'd love to hear what it is. I'd love to hear what some of your biggest takeaways, what some of your most eye-opening things are, and just give us a heart or a like, guys, if you saw some value in this. We're going to be doing webinars like this very, very frequently, generally every month or so. This one was on goal setting. Last one was on detoxification. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff to, just make 2021 better than 2020. It was a rough year, guys, and we want to use our platform and our knowledge and our content to provide for you guys and just make our community healthier and happier. And that's our goal at Raw, and we want to do that for you. So again, hopefully you got some value from this. again, give us a heart, give us a like, whether you're watching it now, whether you're watching, later recording, and let us know what the biggest takeaway for you was. What are some of your goals? Post them here. Even if you don't, like, post them somewhere that you'll see it every day. And I highly encourage you guys to take, an extra hour or so, maybe not right now, but maybe next week or over the weekend, and really dive deeper into this plan. You should have the free workbook that's at the top. I'll post it again here for you, along with the challenge program there, for you to download, because this is a pretty powerful thing, and try to hold on to this so you can use it at a later date, because this isn't something that you just want to do once and then forget about it, right? We want to make sure this is something that's consistent. So again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if there's anything else that we can make goal specific. Very good, Laura. Yeah, it's a lot of times we tend to overlook that and just make them very vague like that. So the more specific you can be, the better off, or the higher chance you'll have of attaining it. So cool. Very good. Just posting the workbook link and all that for you guys so you can reference. Again, if you wanted to get a chance to enter the challenge for free, we're going to do a little raffle. Our pinned post at the top of our Facebook page. You can go ahead and share that to get entered into the raffle. So I'm going to sign off here, guys. Again, hope you received some value from it. Would love to hear from you on it. And here's to a fresh start for you in 2021, guys.